Hello, welcome to the course UEC 001. In this module, we will study the switching behavior of transistor or another application transistor as a switch. And for this, let us consider the common emitter configuration. So as we have already discussed the input and output characteristics of common emitter configuration, for better understanding, let me draw the characteristics, and I am assuming that in this characteristics transistor is ideal. My transistor is ideal. So what it means, that means the reverse saturation current ICEO, this will be equals to 0 ampere, and the value of VCE saturation, the saturation voltage will also be 0 volts. So if you can recall, so this is my output current, that is the collector current IC in terms of milliampere. This is my output voltage in terms of volts, and we have taken this VCE set, this is also to the 0 volts, and on different values of base current IB equals to 10 microampere, 20 microampere, 30 microampere, 40 microampere, 50 microampere, suppose 60 microampere. And if my load line is somewhere this, then you can check this particular current, this particular level is my IC set. So I can say that somewhere over here I am having a value of IB min, means minimum base current, which required to make my transistor in saturation region is this particular term is the minimum base current, and this particular segment is my VCE cutoff region, or I can say that this is my VCC. So this is my cutoff point or cutoff voltage, and this is my saturation point. Over here we will talk about the two regions. This is my cutoff region and this is my saturation region. So for saturation region, I will have output current, which is my IC set, and this is my saturation collector current. Saturation collector current, and IB min, this is my minimum value of input current that makes the working of transistor in the saturation. So now you can check below this IB min, my transistor is in active region. In common emitter configuration, very simple circuit is required. Plus VCC we have to provide. This is my RC, base resistance RB, and input signal which we need to provide over here. So this will constitute a base current IB and IC. So if I am saying that this is my input signal, if I am saying that this is my input signal Vin of a reference voltage VR, in general this VR is 5 volt, for the digital application, various digital application. And I have shown three intervals over here. There is one reason from 0 to T1, there is no input signal. Input signal is available between T1 and T2 only. And I want to check the corresponding output. What is the my output? So initially I am considering the ideal case, okay, where I am assuming that there is no delay. At the same instant I am receiving the output. However, practically it is not possible, but for the intuition purpose, initially I am taking. So the output waveforms will be somewhere like this. We will discuss in detail the working, but let me draw the waveform. So if you can observe that it behaves like a NOT gate, it's behave like an inverter. Means I will have output VR equals to 5 volt over here from 0 to T1. When there is no input, I will receive there is output, and to the period to which input is applied, my output is 0. Okay, so this is the input signal and respective output signal for my common emitter configuration or common emitter based transistor. So we will see the working step by step. Okay, so let me write one more thing. It is behavior like inverter, like a NOT gate. So the first step, if there is no input, if input signal is 0, that is the value of base current IB equals to 0. So if there is no input current, if there is no input current, that means which current can flow through the transistor. So the current that can flow over here is a reverse saturation current. That means the value of output current IC will be equals to ICEO. Practically we will have this current, but in this term we have assumed that ICO is my 0 ampere ideal transistor. Now you can see the characteristic. My IC E0, 0 current means over here IC equals to 0 milliampere, and this is lying in which region? In cutoff region. So this is the functionality of transistor in cutoff region, and it behaves like a open circuit for case number 1. So I'm taking output from here. So I'm measuring output from here, and flow of current over here is IC equals to ICEO. As this ICEO is 0, we have considered, therefore drop across this resistance RC will be equals to 0, or let me write in this way. This is my plus VCC, drop across RC equals to 0. So if there is no voltage drop, that means this entire VCC is available to V0. Okay, this entire VCC is available to V0. So in this situation, my output voltage V0 equals to VCC. Okay, so I'm taking that VR equals to VCC. So my output voltage is VCC in this situation. Okay, so this is the first case. That means when there is no input for the period from 0 to T1, I am having the output VR of 5 volt, that is my equivalent to VCC. Now let us check the second case. If input signal VR is connected to the base. Now if input signal is connected to the base and I am assuming that my IB, the base current in this particular loop, in the input loop, it is greater than my IB min. And now first you can check what is the requirement of IB min. IB min over here is my minimum value of base current that ensures that my transistor is working in saturation region. So means if IB is greater than or equals to IB min, that means I will have a saturation collector current IC set. Okay, so this condition ensures transistor is working in saturation region. So for that means when it works in saturation region, I will have collector current, which is my saturation collector current. My collector current is now saturation collector current, and the behavior of transistor is now a short circuit. So now transistor will behave like a short circuit, and I am taking the output voltage from here V0. So you can check V0 is 0 volts. So this is my plus VCC. RC current flowing over here is saturated collector current IC set, and transistor behaves like a short circuit. Okay, so transistor behaves like a closed switch. So over here it is a closed switch. However, in the previous case it was as open switch. So you can check, as it is short circuit, so directly connected to ground, therefore output voltage is 0 volts. So during the period to which input is applied and that input is sufficient, which makes my transistor in saturation, so I will have a 0 output. So this is the switching behavior. That means my transistor is moving either in cutoff region or in saturation region. Okay, so now what is the requirement for that? So first thing is I need to show you the value of IC saturation current. So this IC saturation current will be equivalent to my VCC divided by RC, as I have considered the saturation voltage VCE set 0 volts for ideal case. However, in practical case for silicon transistor, VCE set equals to 0.2 volts if transistor is made from silicon. So accordingly, in that case, the value of IC set will be equals to VCC minus VCE saturation divided by the RC. So that is the practical value. Now I have to find the value of IB min, the minimum base current, and this should be greater than or equals to IC set divided by beta, where beta is my forward current gain or current amplification factor. Beta is termed as HFE, or it is forward current gain for the transistor, and this is one of the important specification of a transistor. And to ensure that transistor is working in the saturation region, the input current, now in this configuration my input current is IB, this should be greater than IB min. So my IB should be greater than IB min. If this condition is satisfied, we will say that my transistor will be working in saturation region. Okay, so let us find the value of their resistances when transistor is working in on condition and off condition. So first case, if transistor is working in saturation region, meaning that I am considering a transistor and it is working in the saturation region. And in this situation, let us try to find the value of R set, the saturation resistance. And my R set will be equals to what? It is VCE set divided by collector current IC set. So you can check from the characteristics, the value of IC set is there, okay, finite value, but the value of VC set is 0. Okay, so as VCE saturation equals to 0, therefore my R set will be equals to 0 ohm. And this is the proof that through the short circuit the value of resistance is 0. So this is the hypothetical case, this is the ideal case. Practically, if VCE set equals to zero point 0.2 volt, therefore the value of saturation resistance will be of few ohm, and that somewhere can be neglected. In the second case, if my transistor is working in cutoff region, the collector terminal, emitter terminal, and the base terminal, and the equivalent now is resistance, which is my R cutoff. So this should be the ratio of cutoff voltage upon, so VCE cutoff, or it is simply VCC divided by the cutoff current, and cutoff current is my ICEO. So as ICEO is 0, therefore R cutoff will be equals to infinite ohm, or practically it will be very high. So for finite value of IC naught, R cutoff will be very high, and that is signifying the open circuit behavior of my transistor. So R cutoff will be high, in fact very high, for finite value of ICE naught. So for better understanding, let us see the timing behavior. I'm just plotting a curve. I'm interested to find the collector current. So I'm defining some levels over here. This is my collector current IC in terms of milliampere. This is my time period T, and there are certain values like from 0 the transition was started, and this is a level when the 10% value of maximum signal was achieved, and there is another level, suppose this is a 90% level of output signal, and over here I am highlighting this, the 100% level of my signal. So you can check, there are certain time periods which I am defining now. 0 to 10%. So this is termed as TD, and TD is my delay time. TD is my delay time. Suppose at time t equals to 0, there is a transition. Okay, my transistor is on actually. So it is the delay time which is responding from one state to another state. So T is the time taken to respond the input signal, and this TR, this is another time which is termed as the rise time. This is my rise time, and it is the amount of time taken from 10% value of my signal to the 90% level. A combination of both TD plus TR is known as my T on. So T on is TD plus TR. That is my on time of transistor. So this is my T on. Okay. So it includes the delay time and rise time. And suppose I'm having another transition. This is my time period T1 at which it starts action for taking my transistor from on state to off states. So T1 is a transition time. This is my transition time. And I'm having another level time which is termed as TS, the storage time. So TS is my storage time. So it is the amount of time taking movement from 100% level to the 90% level of its maximum value. Means it is time taken by the charge carriers to move to their origin term. Okay, is the storage time. And from 90% level to the 10% level, this is my falling time, TF. So time taken, this is my falling time, TF, my falling time, and this is the amount of time taken by the transistor from 90% level to the 10% level of its maximum value. So my T off, that means off time of the transistor is nothing but T off equals to storage time plus the falling time. In general perception, T off is more as comparison to T on. So depending upon T on and T off, one can choose an appropriate transistor for a particular application. Okay, so these are the practical considerations for the timing behaviors of a transistor. Determine the value of RB and RC for transistor inverter. One transistor circuit, emitter is directly connected to ground. Need to find the base resistance. What is the value of base resistance? What is the value of RC? Output taken from the collector, common emitter configuration. VCC is given as 10 volt and its HFE is given as 250. Input signal over here is given as it is 0 volt, and here it is 10. So this is input given, and output is also mentioned that 10 volt output, V naught, 10 volt output, and 0 volt over here. Value of IC saturation is given. Value of IC saturation is given. $10 milliampere. So for the solution, purpose, you can check IC set was VCC divided by RC. Therefore, value of RC will be equals to VCC divided by IC set, and it is simply 10 divided by 10 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So from this, value of RC will be equals to 1 kilo ohm. Now next is, from this my IB minimum will be equals to IC set divided by beta. So it is my 10 into 10 raised to power of minus 3 divided by beta is nothing but my HFE. It is given as 250. So it comes up 40 microampere. So my IB should be greater than sufficiently high with reference to this IB minimum. My IB should be high with respect to IB min. So let IB will be equals to 60 microampere. I'm considering that my IB is 60 microampere, so accordingly I can find the value of RB. Therefore, my IB from the input loop now, IB will be equals to VCC minus VBE divided by RB. So on, if considering VBE equals to zero point 0.7 volt, that means if I am considering that I am dealing with a silicon based transistor, then the value of base resistance RB will be equals to VI minus zero point 0.7 divided by 60 microampere. That means value of RB is 155 kilo ohm. So my answer is RC equals to 1 kilo ohm and RB equals to 155 kilo ohm is required to achieve the same output which was given in the problem. Okay, for a saturation current of 10 milliampere, minimal value of base current is 40 microampere. These are the design requirements. So this is the problem network given. There are two transistors T1 and T2, and it is given that both transistors are identical. VCC of 5 volt is connected over here. Input A and input B will be connected to the two transistors and taking the output from emitter terminal. So as two transistors have been given and there are two inputs, so there will be total four possible cases. So in the first situation, when both inputs A and B are 0 0, then see the behavior. T1 and T2 both will behave like open circuit because base terminal is connected to ground. That means there is no direct connection between the VCC and the emitter output voltage. So if I am saying that the drop across this resistance is 0 in that sense because there is no current, then my output voltage is 0 for this case. Now considering the second situation, if input A is 0, over here we are connecting ground, but input B is connected to 1. So you can check as B is connected to 1, that means this transistor will be in saturation region. Okay, so behaves like a closed switch, and V0 will be directly in contact with VCC through transistor T2. Okay, so just because of transistor T1, it is open circuited. There will be no current through this, but there will be a closed loop just because of transistor T2. Okay, so we will have output voltage V0 equals to VCC. Let us consider another case, the third number case, if A equals to 1 but B equals to 0. So similar operation we will have a flow of current just because of the transistor T1 as it behaves like a closed switch. However, transistor T2 behaves like open switch and still we will have output voltage V0 equals to VCC, that is logic 1. And the last case over here is when both are at 1 1 position. So in this situation, both are working in saturation region. That means both behaves like a closed switch. Okay, and I will have output as logic 1, which is VCC. Now let's summarize the input and output behavior in the form of table. So if A and B are my output and I'm saying that Y is my output, so there are total four possible combinations which I am summarizing. These are my inputs and this is my output. So 0 0 case, 0 1 case, 1 0 case, and last is 1 1 case. So let us summarizing the working of transistor with the help of a table, and I'm just putting their output values. So when both are 0 0, my output was at position 0. However, for all cases, it is at one condition. So you can check this is the functionality of my OR gate. So with this example, you can understand the functionality of OR gate with the help of transistor, how we can design here is Y equals to A or B. So I have shown you a mechanism how one can design logic OR gate with the help of transistor. Okay, and in fact you can see that we have just discussed the switching behavior, logic 0 and logic 1, because we have considered only the binary logics over here. Now I will tell you the circuit of logic AND gate also. So if I am having two transistors and both should be connected in such a form that they are forming a common point of some sort of series connections, that is the emitter of transistor T1 is connected to the collector of another transistor driven by a supply VCC, base resistance RB, base resistance RB. Suppose inputs A and B are given over here and this is a emitter resistance. So now you can check if any transistor is open, if either T1 or T2 open, then the output C will be equals to 0. Then output C will be equals to 0 as circuit is not completed. Circuit is not. So this is I am saying the first case, and the second, if both T1 and T2 are on. So the meaning of on is both are working in saturation. Both are working in saturation. Likewise over here T1 T2 both are open means if anyone is working in cutoff. So how a transistor can be in cutoff region? If either A or B, if any input is 0, then the respective transistor will be in off mode. However, if both are in saturation, so how they are in saturation? If both are connected to 1 1, then you can check there will be a closed, the circuit is completed, the circuit will be completed, and output C equals to logic 1 will be connected to VCC directly. So this is nothing but this is my AND gate working. This is the functionality of AND gate. Both inputs A, B, output is C, and C equals to A dot B. If either input is 0, then output is 0. You can check. And if both input are at 1 1, then you can see that my output is 1. And this is the designing of my AND gate. So with two steps, you can better understand if either is open circuit, then the circuit will not be completed and output is 0. So this is the functionality of logic AND gates. So in this module, we have discussed the switching behavior of transistors. In fact, we have discussed a couple of interesting numericals. Thank you.